My mother, who abandoned me when I was a kid, is now coming back crawling and begging for money. You will not believe why. Make sure you stick to the end because it's going to blow your mind. My long-lost mother showed up for my graduation and I chased her away. My life. I'm 23 years old and a male. Has not really been a great life with lots of toys and many friends who came to my birthday. Instead, I was the kid in the corner. I was made fun of because my dad was a janitor at a local school and my mom had passed away when I was just a kid. Or so I thought. Can you imagine how hard life was for me? Anyways, I was the determined young boy, if I can say so myself. I got courage from the bullying and nasty name-calling from other kids. And, of course, my dad made sure that I would not go to bed on an empty stomach, and he made sure that he made my lunch for school, and I knew that I owed him so much. I had a lot to pay back to him, so I had to make sure that when I got high, I would never forget who got me there. As I got older, I had questions about my mom. I wanted to see what she was like, what she looked like, how she smelled, how she walked, but Dad would get really mad if I brought her up. He would say that it brings back sad memories to talk about her, and that her death is still fresh in his heart. So I kept my questions to myself to avoid upsetting my father. But I found it weird that he had no pictures of Mom anywhere in the house, not even in his room. I heard he broke down when she died, but would that cause him to throw away everything that belongs to her? On the other hand, I must say, I was doing really good in school. I aced my tests and exams like it was nothing, in primary and in high school, and my dad was proud of me. I went home one day and I found my dad on the phone. He did not seem happy at all. All I heard was, "Stay away from us, you made your choice." I walked up to Dad and asked him if there was any problem. All he said was no. It was in a low and unfriendly tone, and I left to his room. I kept wondering what could be the problem. Was it someone from work? But if it was, why would he be staying away from us? Who is us? I wondered about it for some days and just decided to let it go. It was important, my dad would have told me. I was finally going to college. I could feel my dreams get closer and closer. I made sure to study very hard, and I did not focus on anything else apart from my studies. I could not afford to get distracted from my goals as I was getting so close. I felt that the years in college were so slow. Or maybe I was just so eager to reach my objective since I was very close. I did not have a lot of friends in college, and I hardly celebrated my birthday because I was on a journey to learn how to save while I was in college. What I had in mind was not to just get a 9-to-5 job. It was bigger than that. It required planning, saving, and less spending. And finally, my last year in college came. My dad was so proud to have raised a man like me, who is so focused and determined and does not entertain distractions. I was focused and made sure to keep up what I was doing, because graduation was already the following month. Surprisingly, my dad had been saving money for my graduation. Could you imagine how this made me feel? My dad, he meant the whole world to me. He was always a step ahead. We started planning and getting ready for the graduation. My dad bought me a very expensive suit and some nice shoes. I felt so good to be spoiled by him. He then bought me a graduation robe and hat, and a planned party right after the graduation was done. The day I've dreamt of my whole life finally has arrived. My dad woke me up in the morning with so much excitement to get ready for my special day. He had a bright smile on his face and he kept saying to me, "Oh, I'm so proud of you, son. I love you so much." If only he could imagine how proud of myself I was. We get ready and herded to campus, and we were so early that we had to wait about an hour before people even started to show. And when everyone arrived, the ceremony started. I could see how our parents were so proud of us. There's no better feeling in the world than to see that you've delivered what your parents have been sweating and prepping you for. All the graduates were asked to go up front, and graduation continued and went really great. Until something shocked me. It almost ruined my day. As I was on stage, I saw my dad from a distance talking to some lady in a very unusual manner. Everyone in our neighborhood knew that my dad's the nicest person, and yet he talked to this woman like he wanted to plug her eyes out. He kept raising his hand at her. One could say he wanted to hit her, but could not, and another would say he wanted to scare her away. I could not help it, so I walked up to them, and as I came closer, I could sense the anger in Dad's voice. What has this lady done? I wondered, as I reached them. I asked Dad what was going on, and immediately the lady smiled at me and gave me a big ol' hug. She seemed to be very happy to see me. I was so confused I did not know how to respond to her. I kept asking Dad who she was. My dad had no words. He stood there like an uncharged robot. The woman called me by my name, and she continued by saying, I've thought and dreamt about this day for so long. There's not a day that went by without me thinking about you. I missed you so much, my son. I softly pushed her away as I continued to ask my father, Dad, who is she, and why is she calling me son? Tell me, Dad, what are you hiding from me? I demanded answers from my dad like I was the father interrogating my naughty son. I've never talked to my dad that way, but the fact that he stood there, saying nothing, made me so curious to find out what the heck is going on. His eyes teared up, and immediately I knew something just wasn't right. Oh, she's your mother. I thought I heard wrong. What did you just say? I could not believe that my dad just lied to me my whole life about my mom. Why would he lie to me? More questions started raising in my head. Why would you lie to me like that? What have I done to deserve this from you? I thought you were the best father. I looked up to you, and all you did was lie to me about my own mom. Didn't you think I deserved to know she was at least alive? I said to Dad, and that's when Mom joined the conversation, saying, You actually told our son I was dead? How could you do that? And my dad just could not stand her talking. Ugh, don't turn this on me, Bertha. You left me no choice. What was I supposed to tell him? Oh, that your mother chose a rich man over us and left us? You should be thankful I made sure that your name was clean in his heart by saying you died, and to be honest, you did die the day you left us for him. So, there was more to learn, and I had to learn about it under a tree on my graduation day. I was heartbroken. I first thought Dad was a bad father for keeping the truth from me, but hearing what he just said, what kind of mother chooses money over her own son? After what my father said, she replied to him, What else should I have done? You were poor, for goodness sake. People made fun of us. We both know it was going to end one way or the other, and I just deserve better than what you gave. Did she really just say she deserved better? Wow. She really stooped so low to think that Dad and I are unworthy of her. Out of rage, I decided to chase her. Why would she come ruin my day for me the same way she ruined my life? I needed a mother's shoulder to cry on when kids' school bullied me, but she thought I was unworthy of her love. How dare she shows up? Listen here. Listen carefully, lady. I want you to leave. I want you to never come back. We were unworthy of your love, and you're showing it by leaving without thinking twice. I want you to leave the same way you did the first time. And he was right to not tell me that you are alive, because you really are dead to us. And if you ever talk to him again like that, you will be sorry. Now, go. She did not expect me to talk to her like that. I could tell by looking at her that her reasons for coming back are not pure at all. She looked at me, waiting for me to show sympathy and tell her to stay, but she talked to my dad in a way that I did not appreciate at all. I don't allow anyone to talk to my father like he's a dog. She left slowly and she kept looking around, gazing as she kept wiping her face. I could not tell if she was genuinely crying or if those were just crocodile tears. My dad started apologizing as he said he felt guilty. Son, I'm so sorry. All I wanted was to protect you. You went through a lot as a child, and I just could not add to that trouble you were going through. No words can explain how sorry I am. I replied to him in a soft voice. I was mad at you, Dad. I thought you took me away from Mom and lied to me that she was dead. But after learning the truth, I know you were only doing what any parent would have done. She called us unworthy of her love. Then why the hell did she come back for? Did she expect you to be the mayor of the town? Why did she decide to be with you if she knew that she deserves more? Were you rich before you had me? My dad looked at how mature his son has become, and immediately he knew he could discuss something like this with me, and he explained what happened between him and Mom. I finally understood everything, and this only created a gap for abhorrence towards her. I still cannot believe how she could easily leave her family for money. Is love really stronger than anything? The day went on, and my friends and I herded to our house for the party that my dad had worked hard for. Even though my heart wasn't in the right place, I had to enjoy my day. I already had a story to tell how my mother showed up for my graduation with no shame at all, after choosing money and neglecting her family. I had to make sure that she leaves, the same way she left when I was little. She did not deserve to see me in a graduation robe at all. She did not deserve to see how happy we were. At some point, I'm more grateful she left because it made me determined and focused to get what I want in life. Well, the party continued. My friends and I had such a darn good time. After the party, it was then time to get back to life. The next day, I already started throwing CVs to try to find a job. I was worried that I would not get a job, and I received a phone call. I was going for an interview the following day. But let me tell you, I was nervous. I woke up and got ready, and then I went on for the interview. It wasn't even as bad as I thought it would be. After I finally completed my interview, I went home and waited for days before receiving a call. I've gotten the job. I could not express how happy I was to be so lucky. Out of all my friends, it seemed I'm the only one who's gotten a job this early. They had all been searching for almost 6 months to get a job, and my job was paying really well. I started looking for a better place to live with my dad because what he did my whole life, well, he deserves to live in a beautiful place. One day, as I was in my office, the front desk officer called me to say there's an old-looking woman looking for me. Who could it be? I pondered. I walked down and turned. It was my mother. I did not think she had the guts to come back again after what happened a few months before on my graduation day. I got so angry, I did not even want to see her face. I told her to leave right away, and I threatened her to call security if she did not leave. She just asked for a moment, just to say something. Well, I gave her exactly 3 minutes for her to explain to me what she was doing at my workplace and how she knew where I worked. She tried to explain what happened in the past, and she tried to blame everything on Father. I stopped her right away, and I said to her, "If you do not have anything else to say, just please leave. I'll not watch and listen to you speak ill of the most important person in my life." All I wanted was for her to be out of my sight. She continued to say, "Look, Jason, I have no other choice. But I promise I loved you so much, and I still love you so much, my son. All I wanted was to get money to give you a life you deserve. This is why I'm back." I looked at her with dispiritedness. How could she be the woman who gave birth to me? I just could not understand. "My dear Jason, I went to get money from the bank, but they told me to wait, and I needed the money urgently. Can you maybe just give me a little bit of money, and I promise to repay you as soon as the bank accepts my request. I'll refund you." At that point, I realized that the reason she came back was because she wanted money. Looks like it did not go well with the man she left us for. He passed away, and the family did not allow Mom to take anything from him. They even chased her away, and now she came back to us because she has nowhere to go. She might be the one who gave birth to me, but she's not my mother. And I do not feel sorry for her at all when I called security to get her. She was dragged out by the guards. She begged me, but the thought of her saying she deserved more than Dad, and I, just brought me anger. Mother was embarrassed to be thrown out by the police by her own son. She looked around, and everyone who was walking by stood there to witness the drama, taking pictures as well like paparazzi. In a world of social media, everything that happens is recorded and posted. It did not take long to see her trending on social. I don't know what could have been going on in that mom's head to basically just abandon her entire family for just a chance at someone else's money. I don't know, it seemed like a very toxic thing to do, and I don't blame OP at all for the way they reacted. Let me know your thoughts on this story, guys. Drop them in the comment section. The next story we're going to look at today is titled, "I'm a 17-year-old female, and I told Dad about Mom's affair to save him from a terrible marriage. Now, he wants a paternity test, and I don't know what to do." When I was about 9 years old, I realized my mom was having an affair for years on my military dad. I did not say anything as I was really worried what would happen if I said a word. When I was about 12, I found my dad looking at pictures of our family and tearing up. I could not take it, and I told him about Mom's affair. Fast forward 5 years, and I live full-time with my dad and his new wife and stepsister, and our lives have improved so much since leaving Mom. Well, Grandpa on Dad's side has been pressuring my dad to get a paternity test as he wants to make sure that I'm, quote, his granddaughter. This is getting really intense as Grandpa may pass away soon, and he says he doesn't know if he should leave us anything if he doesn't even know the truth. Well, my dad's resisted this for years and saying it just doesn't matter. But now, things have changed, as I have half-siblings on the way. I'm totally happy and fine with this, but for some reason my dad has started to change his mind about the paternity DNA test thing. He says he is worried that I won't receive help with my college or anything, but I'm worried he's wondering if he should care about me or just my new siblings. I'm not sure how much money Grandpa has, but he does have a big house and a lot of property, so I guess it's important. I would rather just continue with our relationship how it is. But I don't know what to do now, and I have not been able to sleep over this. What do you think I should do? Alright, let's read 2 comments. Before you do anything, I think you need to sit down and talk with your dad. Tell him exactly what you're feeling and exactly what you fear. Be open and communicative with him. Then comment 2 actually replies to that and gives a little more insight. Says this, but try not to worry too much. All signs point to the fact that your dad sees you as his family. The fact he never wanted to test and things haven't changed between the two of you. I think the only reason he wants the test is because, as his child, he wants to secure your future and your grandpa's money for your education. Guys, I actually agree with that. I don't think the dad's doing it now to be toxic or evil. But let me know your thoughts on it. Drop them down below, and if you've ever been in a similar situation, if you want to, share it below and we'll talk about it. The final story on the day is titled, "Am I the a-hole for getting up and walking out of the diner when my boyfriend said that he forgot his credit card? Again." Guys, if you're not subscribed to the channel, just take a second right now and click that button. It only takes a couple seconds and it helps me out with the channel so much with the algorithm. Thank you so much, guys, for doing that. Here is your final story of the day. I'm a 32-year-old female. I've been dating my boyfriend who's 36 for 9 months. He has 2 little children who love going out to eat. We go out to eat once a week, and each time he happens to forget his credit card to make a payment. I'd obviously end up paying since we had the kids with us. But honestly, it left me broke this month and the month before. I just received my payment from my second job, and we agreed to go out together with the kids. I even sent him a text reminding him not to forget his credit card. He laughed it off. At the restaurant, we had ordered dinner, and he let the kids order lots of new stuff off the menu, which was expensive. Before we started eating, I mentioned his credit card, just to make sure he did not forget it. He looked at me shocked, and then started searching his pockets for a while. He then looked at me in a sorry way and said, "Oh, guess I forgot in my other pair of jeans that I thought I was going to wear." Then asked me to foot the bill just this time. The food was on the table, but I did not even get a bit. I grabbed my stuff and got up. He freaked out asking where I was going, and I told him I'm not paying. This time, again. And to enjoy his dinner with his children, then I walked out. He called me later and absolutely lost it on me. He said that he could not believe I'd walk out and leave him and the kids in this situation. I said I wasn't going to pay for him and the kids' food every single time. It's unfair. He just said, "I forgot it. Forgot." And that I did not show sympathy for him and the children, and he had to cancel and go home with the kids hungry, since he could not pay right then and there. We got into an argument, and he's been mad at me about it since, saying things like how he needs to take a look at how I'm treating the kids, specifically, and how I was willing to let them go hungry with my selfishness. So I need to know, am I the a-hole?